Hi everyone, welcome to your next lesson on music note duration and measures. So I'm going to surprise you again. You very likely have some familiarity with this concept. You don't even necessarily have to have had studied music, right? Very simply you had to have been exposed to music, which all of us have in life. It's sort of inevitable, right? To discover the fact that pitches or notes of music have varying lengths. Some are short, some are longer. Here's a simple example. So as you notice probably right away, these pitches were many different lengths, some shorter, longer, right? So I'm going to teach you the basic types of notes in this lesson, and we're going to build on that, and we're going to learn a lot more in the future. But I'm going to teach you the basic today, and you're going to be so impressed with yourself. So the first thing is to show you something you're very familiar with, which is the grand staff, right? In music and in piano playing as we read music, reading the grand staff. Don't forget treble clef, bass clef, right? G clef and F clef. And you notice some new things, and I'm going to walk you through them. So you might have even seen this with pictures of music in life, and you see, TV shows or what have you, the advertisements, and you see this, and you always wonder what that is. Well, now you're understanding it, which is absolutely wonderful. So the first new thing in this lesson, at this point in your study with me, is that you notice these lines. Well, these are called in music bar lines. And the purpose of a bar line is to define measures in music. So everything in between a bar line is called a measure. And within the measures, we're placing our notes. So don't forget that notes can be on the lines or in the spaces, right? So notes are within measures. So you also notice that there are different types of notes or pitches. Don't forget that's what we call them, right? So you'll notice that some circles are not filled in and some are. Some have these sticks coming from them. Well, let me correct you there. They're not sticks, as many students like to call them. They're stems, like a flower, think. So stems, some have stems, and in this example, it doesn't. Now, they're all held for different lengths. And that's important to recognize. So I'm going to walk you through them. The very first measure, we have half notes. Half notes. And a half note is held for a count of 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. In the second measure, the bass clef, here we have notes. These are called quarter notes. They're held for a count only of 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. See, there are 4 of them. So half notes, count of 2. Quarter notes, only 1. This is called a whole note. And a whole note is held for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I were to play them on the piano, for example, your first measure, you have 1, 2. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, right? You're holding it for a count of 2. Now, the second measure, we have quarter notes. Don't forget, held for a count of 1. 1, right? And the last measure, right, measure 3, in this example, up in the treble clef, whole note, don't forget, held for a count of 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, isn't that amazing? You're already learning great material. So, in the bottom right, I have a pyramid, which is common and helpful to understand the notes in relation to one another. So, how we interpret this is in this way. So, this is a whole note, don't forget, half notes and quarter notes. So, a whole note is held for a count of 4. Half notes are a count of 2. And quarters are only 1, right? So, math is a central skill and concept in music, whether you like it or not. And you can notice the mathematical relation here. So don't forget, 1, 2, and 4. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So don't forget, your whole note is a count of 4. That means 2 half notes are equal to a whole note, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. So 2 and 2, 4. That also means, well, if I go down this way, So your half note is 2, right? So 2, so don't forget, 2 quarters are equal to a half note. 1, 1, 1, 1. And go from here to the top. So this makes sense too, right? Quarter notes. You have 4 quarter notes and they're equal to a whole note. Count of 4 is a whole note, and 1, 1, 4 counts of 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 equal to a whole note. So that's very helpful, I hope, in understanding note lengths and notes in relation to each other. You may hear in recitals and teachings that I've done personally, or people in life that you have experienced in settings, in performance settings and teaching settings, what have you, when you hear people talking and saying count, a whole note 4 beats, half note 2 beats, quarter 1. Well, we have to be careful because commonly a quarter note is a beat, but it's not always. And you'll understand exactly what I mean soon enough. So I'm not going to confuse you. But just to put the thought in your head, you may have heard beats in reference to explaining the name of these notes and sort of what their values are. But we can't really say reliably that, for example, a half note is 2 beats, because it may not always be. But count of 2, half note, 4 whole note, and 1 of quarter note. Okay? Wonderful job. So I hope this helped you understand note durations in music, as well as the concept of a measure. Right now you're understanding what these words mean, which I'm pretty sure you've heard. And I invite you, if you don't understand anything that I mentioned, to, again, in my About section is my email. Please email me, and I'll be happy to help you out. Good luck, and we'll have your quiz shortly.